Thomas and I met through mutual friends, and right from the start he made his attraction to me clear. I wasn't against it either. He seemed like a good guy, funny, and we had great conversations. We would hang out with our friends often, and I enjoyed being around him. Eventually, we started dating exclusively, and for almost 2 years, things seemed great. We were so serious that our families met, and we started talking about our future together. One of our first big steps was agreeing to move to Atlanta, where he was from, after he finished law school. In the beginning, everything felt perfect, almost too good to be true. We clicked on so many levels, and I felt like I had found my person. It was a dream, or at least that's what I thought. But sometimes dreams can turn into nightmares before you even realize it. As Thomas was finishing his last year of law school, I decided to move to Atlanta, ahead of him, to establish myself and kickstart my career. But before I left, I noticed subtle changes in him, things I didn't want to pay attention to at the time. "Are you sure you want to do this?" he asked one day. "Maybe you should wait until we can move together?" I brushed it off, thinking he was just concerned about me doing this alone while he was stuck in school. But something in his voice felt off, like there was more behind his words that I wasn't catching. The real turning point came when I got a job offer in Atlanta. I was so excited. Thomas didn't share my enthusiasm. His lack of support felt like a warning sign. And then came the final blow. He didn't even come to help me move out of my apartment. I tried to ignore my gut feeling, thinking maybe I was overreacting, but even my cousin noticed something wasn't right. "Only move if you really want to," he warned me. I'm getting a bad feeling about this. Looking back, I wish I had listened to him. A couple of weeks after I arrived in Atlanta, Thomas and I were on our way to look at an apartment for me. I had temporarily moved in with my grandmother while I settled in, and although Thomas had come to visit, things between us were different. The easygoing vibe we used to have was gone. I could feel a wall building between us, and it made my stomach twist in knots. It wasn't long before I had to ask the question that had been haunting me: "Do you still want to be in this relationship?" His answer shattered me. "No," he said without hesitation. "There are things about you I don't like, and I don't think you'll ever change. And the truth is, I don't see myself married to someone like you." His words hit like a punch to the gut. Just like that, my world crumbled. I had uprooted my entire life for him, moved to a city where I knew no one, and now he was showing me how foolish I had been. I was devastated, left in a strange place that no longer promised a future filled with love, but instead left me feeling isolated and heartbroken. But that wasn't the worst of it. I found out later that Thomas had been cheating on me for months. It was like a knife twisting deeper into my chest. I couldn't believe that the person I trusted the most had betrayed me in the cruelest way possible. It explained everything: his distance, his lack of support, his coldness. All this time, I had been fighting for us, thinking he was just going through a phase. He had already checked out, and I had been too blind to see it. After the breakup, everything changed for me. I lost 30 pounds in a month, and life became a blur of pain and numbness. Every day felt like I was dragging myself through a fog. My heart was broken, my spirit shattered, and I didn't know how to move forward. But I knew I had to leave. I couldn't stay in Atlanta, surrounded by memories of him, feeling betrayed in a city that no longer felt like a fresh start. So, I reached out to a friend who helped me find a job far away from Atlanta. It was my escape. The distance, time, and focusing on my career helped me heal. Slowly, I began to rebuild my life. I met new people, made new memories, and even allowed myself to fall in love again. It took time, but I realized that this breakup was a harsh but necessary wake-up call. Thomas should have ended things differently, but in a way, his betrayal forced me to grow up and learn about myself. Over the years, I also learned that I wasn't perfect in the relationship either. Some of the men I dated after Thomas pointed out similar flaws, making me realize that I had things to work on too. But that doesn't excuse how Thomas betrayed me. He could have broken up with me honestly instead of cheating. Still, pain he caused pushed me to become a better person, take responsibility for my part in the relationship, and to be stronger in the face of heartbreak. Thomas was my second love, the one that changes you at your core. It was painful, messy, and filled with betrayal, but it taught me lessons I'll carry forever. Maybe one day I'll find my third love, the one that lasts. But until then, I'll keep moving forward, stronger and wiser than before.